have a lot of NBA news to get to, but we start with the hometown New York Knicks. They signed Kemba Walker, Jalen Rose. They've got Fournier and Walker. They basically got Boston's backcourt from last year, and as a Die Easy Knicks fan, I do not like this. What do you think about it?
Buckets on buckets on buckets is what they're trying to make sure they have for you when you go to the Garden and you take Quincy to a game. He don't want you to look up at the score, and Tom Thibodeau has a team playing so tough in the mud that Julius Randle has 25 or 30 points, and everybody else has 12 or less until D Rose gets going in the fourth quarter. He's giving you some buckets, dog. Evan Fournier, buckets. He's an 18, 20-point scorer. Kemba Walker, buckets. Your Knicks, I'm telling you, they're going to be in the lower part of the Eastern Conference, Jacoby. Okay? They got to get some people that can score the ball. If you can't get height and physicality, you got to get scoring off the dribble. And that's what they seem to be investing in.
Well, Jalen, they've already invested in R.J. Barrett. They've already got Emmanuel Quickley. They've got Derrick Rose. They didn't need new faces in the backcourt. Why did they do this?
That means that, like KRS-One, they're not done. They're not done. They're not done. Like, it's so easy to see these moves initially when they happen and question why they're taking place.
That's
I remember people was doing this when Porzingis got traded. You remember that? When Porzingis got traded? People felt like, oh, it's doom and gloom in New York City. They'll never respond. Oh, my God, they lost a unicorn. And all of a sudden, that became Julius Randle. I'm not necessarily, again, expecting the Knicks to have the magical season next year that they had this year. They're not going to be as high in the rankings in the Eastern Conference next year as they was last year.
No.
So you might as well bring in Kemba and bring in Fournier, some players that's going to get you some buckets to go alongside the guys you mentioned.
Well, last year they were in the playoffs. This year they'll be in the play-in. But a team that the Knicks lost to in the play-in tournament just signed a key piece. John Collins agreed to a 5-year, $125 million deal with the Hawks. A lot of people saw him not staying with the Hawks. What do you think about this move?
That's our guy, friend of the show. Happy to see him get his paper. And again, the casual fan, right? You're going to look at this deal, Dennis Schroeder, Jared Allen. Like, there are a lot of guys that you're going to say, what? Like, hold on. These guys probably won't be all-stars. They are starters, clearly, and they have a lot of potential. How did they get this deal right now? It's because of the value they bring to their team. Like I've said about John Collins, you don't see many players in the league that can make 63s and it's going to have 60 dunks. That's unique in today's game. And alongside Trae Young, a terrific pick and roll guy, a great lob threat, more depth up front with Hunter and Capella and the young big bodies that they have. They re-signed Trae Young. I like what the Hawks are trying to do. And I put them a step ahead of your New York Knickerbockers with these moves. Oh, that's right. As a matter of fact, last year I had to remind everybody that they had a better record than the Knicks. So I understand why you probably feel some sort of way about the moves your Knicks made, but they'll be just fine, dog. They'll be just fine.
Well, the Eastern Conference has been completely remixed in my mind because I see the Knicks not hosting a game one of a playoff series.
Oh, no.
And you think about the Celtics, and you think about the Sixers, and you think about the Hawks, you think about the Knicks, you think about all of these teams, like they're no longer challenging the Bucks
Indiana
and the Nets. And another team that's completely revamped what they have done in the Eastern Conference, former team of yours, which is basically half the league, Chicago Bulls. Chicago Bulls, not only did they bring in Vucevic last year and then they got a new backcourt, they've got DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan has spent the last decade scoring 20 points a game, and now he is in Chicago. What do you think about the addition of DeRozan in addition to everything else that they have done this offseason.
Mid-range magician, professional scorer. They pay you to put that ball in the basket, boys and girls. DeMar DeRozan is a perfect example of that. Soon as you cut the lights on, soon as you put them uniforms on, you're going to look down at the stat sheet, he going to have 20 to 25. Yep. You can ring it up. I don't care where he playing. I don't care what summer league he playing in. I don't care what NBA team he playing in. And just so you know, now for me, there's become tiers in the Eastern Conference. You kind of alluded to it, right? So you got the Nets, the Bucks, and the Heat. But like teams like the Bulls and the Hawks, to me, are edging really close to squads like Philadelphia as it relates to that second tier. And so I like how they've remade their team, their roster, and their relevancy. You see what it's like, Chicago, to actually have a living, breathing general manager that's making moves and building your roster? Like, wow, they've remade their team so very fast. You got Levine, right? He's gonna get you 25 points a game, a terrific athlete. You show up the backcourt with Lonzo Ball. I know how much you like Caruso as well. And so now on the perimeter, when you add DeMar DeRozan, I really like what they're doing. And they have Vucevic inside, who's proven to be a 2010 guy.
Caruso, Ball, Jacoby White, like this team is a team that will not be an easy out in the playoffs. And last year, they got Vucevic and didn't even make the playoffs. We'll see what happens next year at the end of the season. Jalen Rose.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.